And we are live, according to the monitor. Brad's in the background. I can actually hear him eating. Unbelievable. Guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. We're moving off-centered up to Wednesday through football season. So it'll be Wednesday night instead of Thursday night, so we're not competing with the NFL. And also just want to watch the games anyway, frankly. Well, I can't speak for Brad. Brad doesn't watch anything. But we are here this week. He just got back, I think, like 15 minutes ago to his apartment. And he said that he's tired, but you know what? No excuses. No excuses. We do this weekly show. We're here. So let me go ahead and bring on Brad, the comeback card sometimes investor. What's up, man?
Comeback card talker, pretty much.
Occasional investor.
Yeah, man, just got back about, I guess, 30 minutes ago. Just enough time to devour my green smoothie, join you, and get this over with.
Yeah, this is more of an obligation. This week is more of a chore.
Well, you know, it has been a pretty exciting week at the Industry Summit. I wanted to do this now while it's still fresh, but I am tired. It's a good kind of tired, though. It was early mornings, not too late of nights, but a lot going on, a lot of people shaking hands, a lot of conversations, a lot of panels and keynotes and stuff like that. So glad it's over, glad to be back home, but it was really cool because it was way different than the National. It's like a very much a behind the scenes, business to business type of conference, while the National is all out there, B2C, a lot of media, while there was no media here. This was pretty much don't record anything. This is all just for us, because I think tickets were about $600 each, and they were sold out after about 350 or 400 people.
You paid $600 for a ticket?
I did not. That's how much tickets were, because they wanted me to speak, or we worked out a deal for me to speak. They comped the ticket, but it would have been $600. So I mean,
and then after you talked, they're like, you know what? Actually, we're going to need that $600.
Well, it was okay. You owe us $597.
So were most people asking like, hey, good to see you, Brad, but where's Dustin? Like, it's cute that you're here, but when does Dustin show up?
No. They're like, aren't you always with that weird guy? Aren't you always talking to that weird guy? You really need to drop him. He's really dragging you down. I think someone, I talked to Ryan, card collector too. And I'm like, oh, you know, Dustin, the personal finance dad? He's like, I think I know of him. Like, yeah, you're not missing out.
All right, let's say hey to some of the people in the chat. Scott Wilson, how you doing, buddy? I have not been down to Tampa yet. I'll get down there. I've got family down in Tampa, but I've got just so much going on right now that did not make it down to Tampa. I was going to try to make a show down there last week or the week before, and it just did not work out. Brian, good to see you. Yeah, we will definitely dig into my Jameis Winston prediction that came true from last week. We will dig into that, and I'm going to ride that for everything it's worth, because that might not ever happen again, guys. So I'm going to ride that.
I want to see what your prediction is for this upcoming week, just to see if you're going to be right. Whatever the prediction is, I want to see if you're going to be right 2 weeks in a row.
We will dig into it for sure. David Hunter, good to see you. Sean, saw on Sports Card Investor that Brad was giving a talk at the conference. Way to go.
Thank you.
Troy, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Ryan, find out if Brad snagged any cards at the summit and if Dustin plans on grabbing any vintage at his upcoming show. I'll just go ahead and answer that now. I don't know. So Brad, okay, did you buy those, or are these all giveaway gifts?
These were giveaways. These were solid. Look, Dustin Poirier, and then what's his name?
Oh, that's right.
Jorge Masvidal.
Because Panini was really pushing UFC, is what I heard, right?
Yeah, they were. So they were giving away a lot of this. Usually everyone just gets one or the other, but I guess they had enough to give me two, and then a handful of people both. So on the back, it's like, let me see on the back. It says the name, but it's not. I don't think it's like an actual set. I think it's just like a very generic type of thing, but very cool. I mean, they're on card autos. Both of them were there talking in the panel, the UFC panel. So, I mean, they spent money. Like Panini spent money. They brought them in, and it was a good panel. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I might buy vintage, Ryan. It all just kind of depends on what it looks like. I'm not going to reach for anything. I just take what the defense gives me. I might throw 5 to 7 yard passes. I might take a shot downfield. We don't know. I might be Jameis Winston and take it to the house.
Hey, that's it. You take what the defense gives you. Absolutely.
Everything goes back to it's all a Jameis Winston reference from here on out. Everything goes back to Jameis.
It depends what you can see. It depends how your eyesight is and what you can see at the show.
WWJD, what would Jameis do?
Ooh, there we go.
Love it. I'm going to be wearing bracelets before you know it. Hey, Cody, good to see you, man. All right, Philly Joe, let's get to work. Shane from Australia, let's get to work. There's a lot of Aussies out there, man, that are into cards. I love that.
Yeah, huge Australian community in cards. And I hope you guys have decent resources because that's a long ways away. And I don't know what gets out there, like what can get out there in chunks. Like if there's a lot of retail or if it's just brutal and you guys have to really pay an arm and a leg through customs and shipping to get anything worthwhile. But hopefully that'll change. Regardless, hopefully that changes.
Yeah, the phrase, guys on an island out there, literally on an island out there, those Aussies. I wonder if Brad has ever watched one of my videos. Hey, Michael Ham, good to see you. But don't feel bad, Mike. He doesn't watch anybody's videos.
I don't even watch Dustin's videos.
No.
Here's the thing, man. Like I listen a lot. I'm more of a podcast person. And before, when I wasn't scattered everywhere, I was watching more content. I don't even keep up with Sports Card Investor or you or anyone that's like really anyone, period. So I don't watch much content at all. Part of it is also because I don't like being at home or watching a screen more than I have to. So I'm always outside, and that's why I'm listening. So if it's a podcast form, I'm more likely to absorb it. But I'll have to get to it because I want to support you. I just, dude, time is thin. Bandwidth is very thin right now as well. And so, and then I also kind of want to escape because another topic that's a bit more serious is that the longer being in cards and doing YouTube as well as buying, selling, and turning it into a job, it's becoming more of a job. And because of that, I need more escapism from sports cards, if I'm being honest, because even watching sports, I'm thinking, I can't enjoy it the same way as before because now it's kind of content. Now it's kind of like I need it for work. And I kind of need that escape where I'm just, going out to the bar, going on dates, going to the beach, things where it's completely removed. So I've been finding myself watching more movies or just things where it's completely far away from sports cards just because I have taken on this more career or job role with the brand and with buying and selling cards.
Yeah, if we're reading between the lines on that equals had a few bad hinge dates and screams into a pillow for a couple hours a day. That's what's really going on. My homeboy 86, he's calling for a pee break. Dude, probably soon.
I crushed. This whole thing was full. This has got to be like 48, 50 ounces. So I would give it another 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes max. I will say everyone could use a good cry. All right. Everyone could use a good cry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed. Bradley, sorry. I think it's kind of an anomaly. I'm sure that Rodgers and the Packers will be back, but I'm not going to say that I wasn't enjoying every last little second of it. I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't.
Oh yeah. You should have.
LT, good to see you, man. Nicholas Conrad, thanks for joining. Iconic trading cards. The Laurel and Hardy of card collectors.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either, Ryan. I was thinking about pretending like I knew, but I decided that I'm just going to say I don't know.
You know, it's interesting. There is a speakeasy in West Hollywood called Laurel Hardware. And I mean, it just reminds me of that. I don't think it has anything to do with whatever Laurel and Hardy is, but anyway, it's a cool spot.
GD's here. I don't have any snacks, but he's here to talk UFC. I have not gotten in, other than Brad's cards that he got for free UFC. I don't think that he's buying any in particular. Are you looking into UFC?
Actually, ironically, the one card that I was looking at, and I'm still looking at on eBay, is Conor McGregor, and it's because he has the ability to rise and fall very quickly because he is such a good hype machine that whenever he's back for the next fight, it doesn't even matter if he gets choked out in the first round. He is such a hype machine, and he'll always get big fights, and he'll always be the main event. As long as he's competitive, that I could see his cards going back up, when it's announced whoever he's going to fight next, whenever it's announced his legs healed or whatever. So Conor McGregor has that really high, like that volatility that I like. And worst case scenario, he's just a marketing machine. So that's one guy that I'm more curious about, but I also don't know UFC in and out. So that's one household name that I would take a shot on.
I appreciate this, Mark, very much. Also, do you think Denver Broncos have any chance this season? I think I saw that Jerry Jeudy got hurt already. Their receiver, which is not. I don't think he's out for the year, but I think that he did get hurt. Now they've got Cortland Sutton back. Bridgewater, the ex-Saint, is over there. I don't know. I honestly haven't been following that Broncos team well enough to know how good their defense is. I know that, historically they've been good. I just don't know where they sit right this second. So I don't feel like I'm really up on, that Broncos team to be able to speak to it. All right, let's back up a little bit. There's a bunch of people in the chat. Sorry, guys, if I missed you just saying hello, but I want to back up a little bit and go to the summit. So, Brad, kind of walk us through. I want to start it kind of like, start to finish. You got there. Were you there for like the card show part of it? Because wasn't there like card show and then there was like the business piece?
Yeah, so I believe it was Saturday and Sunday, maybe Friday, but at least Saturday, Sunday was the card show. I didn't see any of that. And it's also because I didn't really need to unless I was going to set up and sell, because I'm still in sell mode. And that's another learning lesson. I just have so many cards I want to offload before I even want to buy again, because it just gets stressful to have more inventory building up. So I'm really waiting to sell more before I could have a clean slate and buy again. But I didn't want to get a hotel for an extra night or two just for that. So I went in, and living in LA, it's a 4-hour drive to Vegas. So I just drove Sunday morning and arrived around 3 p.m. In Vegas, checked in, had dinner with an old friend, and got ready for it. And it was early morning. So I think every morning, I could look at the itinerary, but every morning breakfast was served around 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 7:30 to 8:30. And then it was a full day all the way up till 3, 4 o'clock. And then 5 o'clock yesterday. Let me take a look. Yeah, 7 to 8 a.m. is breakfast. So it was like you start early. And if you're not at that hotel, then you got to wake up at 6 a.m. and then take a shuttle over or an Uber. But it was good that it was very packed.
Nice. What did it look like? Was it just kind of workshops all day? Was it, happy hours, dinners, and, how did that go? Did they have any like extracurricular activities for you guys?
Yeah, let me read it off just because, let's see, Sunday. Let me see, Sunday here. Where's Sunday at? Saturday, Sunday. Okay, they had a golf event, which I didn't go to, but it was a golf event Sunday. And I arrived Sunday night, so that wasn't a thing. But then Monday, they had they had the game. So they were playing the Monday Night Football game in the giant ballroom. So the way it was set up was that you entered like the ballroom area, and they had the vendors out there, and then you enter another room where it was about 400 seats or 300 seats, 350-ish, all set up facing a stage. And the stage was only like one of those setup stages, not like it was built into the room, but it was one of those setup stages where it's 3 feet higher and you can go up, and there's some banners behind there. But it was one main room there, and then the other room where the vendors were set up. And then there was the Panini lounge was cool. Panini actually had a really cool lounge, ping pong tables. They had this photo booth, which turns your photo into a card. So I'll post that in the future. And if you go to hashtag Industry Summit 21, I'm sure other people have uploaded theirs. But pretty confined space overall, a good amount of room for 400 people. But yeah.
Did it feel like a lot of people, like the 400 people, or was it spread out enough to where it was like, this seems small?
It felt like a lot when everyone was in the same room, because there were a couple panels. There was, when Panini spoke, everyone was expecting Panini to address the fact that they don't have the license anymore in a couple of years. And then the influencer panel, which was DJ Ski, Josh Luber, Gruber, not Luber, right? Gruber.
Oh, I thought it was Luber. Maybe
I thought it was Luber. All right, yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, Josh Luber, Dan Fleischman, Ken Golden, and who was the first one I said? I told you I'm tired.
DJ Ski.
DJ Ski, yeah. So when they were there and they were talking about everything that they were talking about, answering questions, it was packed. So every seat was full and people were lined up at the back door. And that's when you're like, oh, wow, there's this many people here. And then when there were other presentations, mine included, it was some people in it, some people out. And then there were times where there were workshops going on simultaneously where the room was a third full. And then in the adjacent room was another 100 people. So I thought it was a good size because it was the point where I would see the same person over and over again, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the whole show. And some people I didn't see at all, but it wasn't like the national where it's like a needle in the haystack. This was good because there was a lot of card shop owners, a lot of familiar names, a lot of people that are have their own business or are an executive or a key member of some company. And so, and it like had that vibe that had a very businessy vibe versus collector vibe. So it was a good change because you really got to see the business side of it and what people are thinking and how they're approaching it from that angle.
Was there anyone in particular, kind of putting you on the spot here, anyone in particular that you kind of like built rapport with that maybe you weren't expecting, like you were, you know, sitting next to them or whatever? Anyone in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the biggest positive surprise I would say is after my presentation later in that day, which was yesterday, I spoke to Ryan, Card Collector 2, and I'd only seen him on YouTube, on Instagram, and then his podcast. And I knew he'd been in cards for a long time. He had his store. He had a big following, but I'd never interacted with him. And then we actually chatted, and he mentioned some complimentary things about the presentation because of his background and how he's grown his business and how he wants to save and do the right thing and whatnot. And we ended up chatting yesterday, I think for like an hour and a half. And it was one of those things where,
wow.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be 20 minutes. And then it went from talking about finances and just like the basic stuff to how he's running his business and challenges with growing a business so quickly to life and other stuff. So it was surprising because I didn't expect it to be a conversation that would last more than 10, 15 minutes. And then it also lasted so long and then tangented.
Tangents. Yeah.
Went on tangents to life and health and well-being and all sorts of stuff. So that was the biggest positive surprise. So, and he's open to coming on to Off Centered. So it'll definitely be on my station because I land the big guests. You don't even try. I land the big guests. So I'll take the Google AdSense revenue and the subscribers and all that.
Oh, I don't do Google AdSense on my live streams, so you can take it anyway.
Okay,
yeah, no, that
cool.
sounds good though. It would actually be good. I've never talked to him outside of, just what I've seen like online and stuff. So that would be cool. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Really nice guy. And I saw there, the extra small Messi jersey. Definitely have to show that. This was another highlight. This was one of the best surprises. I'll take it out of the plastic.
Yeah, how did you win it?
So it was interesting. The very first, and there were a lot of giveaways. There were like a lot of small giveaways, just NFL hat right here. I got to give a shout out to Steve, who owns Mr. Minty.
And Brad is selling all of these on the live stream.
Well, so yeah, he actually has his premium card sleeves. I got to give him a shout out because he actually sat next to me. He's a really nice dude. Check out Mr. Minty on Instagram, and he has his card savers, but it's higher quality, and he was explaining to me how it's higher quality. Even includes this little magnifying lamp. So definitely check him out on Instagram, Mr. Minty. But he's out of Southern California as well, and he actually gave me the top loader. He's like, yeah, let me give you a top loader for your UFC cards. But okay, the jersey that was from Pristine Auctions gave out this little card saver with one of their custom cards. Okay, so it's just a Mr. Pristine marketing card that they made, but on a handful of the card savers, they put a colored dot. And so when they were up there, they announced, hey, we just gave out our little pristine cards and a card saver. If you have a red dot, then you are the winner of a Clyde Edwards-Helaire autographed helmet. And I'm like,
oh, wow. Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. And I looked and mine was yellow. And they said, but if you have other colored dots, then go to the back anyway, because you'll win something. And I thought that was the grand prize. Like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire was like the best prize they had. And I figured if there was a yellow dot, it would be me and 30 others that had it. And it would just be like a koozie or a bottle opener or something like really generic. And then I go back there. I'm like, hey, yeah, I got the yellow dot. What do I get? They're like, oh, it's the Lionel Messi jersey autographed. And so I was like, holy crap, that's way better than a Clyde Edwards-Helaire anything.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, even if Clyde Edwards-Helaire becomes a good running back, that's like, this is.
Yeah, I mean, arguably one of the best soccer players of all time.
Yeah, international superstar.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. You see the auto. I'll zoom in on the auto. So, yeah, very happy about it.
Don't spill any green smoothie on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about it. And then you see the Beckett tag too. Where's it at? The Beckett. You see the Beckett authentication right there on the one.
Yeah, I see it.
So that was really cool.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
Hey, in the chat, how much do you think this is worth? Here's the reason. I actually got, I think Sports Card Investor, his brother-in-law or something like that is an attorney and collects soccer jerseys and DM'd me on Instagram saying how much do I want for it. And as a trade, all I would want is a Tom Brady autographed Buccaneer jersey. And a few people told me that should be pretty even. And so, like, if I get a Tom Brady Buccaneer autographed jersey authenticated through Beckett or PSA, I would do that as a trade. But I don't know what this is worth overall. Matt says $55.
TW says $2,500,000 to $3,000. No, $25,000 to $3,000.
Perfect. All right.
It's worth
how much is it
whatever
worth
someone is willing to pay for it. Yeah, that's kind of okay. We get it, Charlie. We get it. We get it.
Well, what's the most expensive? Yeah, I need that person that has the biggest budget that wants it the most.
Yeah, anyone in the chat, we'll start the bidding now. We'll start the bidding at $1,000.
It's a sweet jersey.
Shane just put a bid down for $1,000.
Hey, I told you should have come, man. But I know you have a new work project and you have a family that loves you. So, I mean, it's not as easy.
Yeah. Yikes.
What a loser.
New dog.
You got a new dog?
Yeah, I got a new dog that I'm dealing with. It's actually, she's been great. Dog's been great, but it's still an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
Yeah.
I am going to go, but hey, I will go to is it the Mint Collectible or the Mint Collective, the one that's at the end of January? That's in Vegas. That's like, what's his name? Dana White, UFC president's going to be there. It's also a big show in Vegas, kind of more of a B2B type show. I'll be at that one.
So I want to look it up right now just so I can see it. What's it called? Something Mint?
Mint Collective. Collectible is putting it on, but it's in Vegas. Mint Collective, I think, is what it is.
Okay, I got it right here. January 28th through 30th.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Register your interest.
I already did that.
Okay. I'll be honest, the website's actually pretty legit. It looks like the website was made this year, and most card show websites look like they're from 1998.
No, I think it's going to be pretty good. It looks like they've got a bunch of people going.
Okay. Well, Josh Luber confirmed speaker, so I mean, at least that's a crossover right there. Yeah. In fact, if you want me to share the screen, I might as well just share this with everyone real quick.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if you plan on going, but I'm gonna go. I mean, if it's a 4-hour drive from you, you should probably go.
4-hour drive is nothing. It really, I mean, I could do it in the same day. The other thing too is if you want to split a room, that'd work. Unless you're going to come with your wife again. I mean, because she might want to come to Vegas.
Yeah, we'll see.
So there's Thought Leadership Conference. The fact that Josh Luber's a speaker should mean that there's going to be a lot of card related stuff as well.
I don't understand why they put co-founder of StockX and not emperor of sports cards.
Yeah, because he hasn't taken over emperor yet. That's
He's the Senate. I am the Senate. I am the Senate.
Let's see. Event schedule, marketplace and conference. So yeah, there's cards there. I haven't heard anything about it just yet, but might as well register now if you can. Do you know if it's free to register?
Yeah, I did that. I already registered.
Okay. Well, if you're out there and you have any interest in going, you might as well register now, especially if it's free, before just in case it does sell out or there is a limit. So
I like that.
I'll do that later.
So, and it's also partnered with IMG. So I don't know if you know IMG, but that's a massive sports agency. They've got a big
South Florida.
Yeah, they're in Bradenton, Florida. They've got a big out, and that's where they'll do like NFL scouting combine and stuff like that. It's massive.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah, I'll probably go.
So go back to the conference, go back to your talk. I mean, how did you feel about it? What are the types of things you covered? How did you, what did they ask you to do, I guess?
So, yeah, so I want to thank Ray Schulte and Ted Barker for inviting me, because they are the host. They've been the host for a long time. And I basically reached out to Ray saying, hey, I did this video for the National where I interviewed the different platforms, and I spun it as, hey, I got my cards to sell and I want to learn about the different platforms. And it's a way to showcase them, and for me to obviously meet these people, and it'd be easy content. And so I said, can I do the same thing here? Can I like make a video from this? And Ray actually said, well, I have a better idea. We have our photographer, and we're not really going to do any media because we don't want people live streaming or doing all this because people paid $600 a ticket to attend. So we don't want the content to be public for everyone, just to honor those that paid. So it's more like, hey, you got paid to be here, you're plus the hotel and the flight. Let's keep it more private. And then he said, well, I have 2 slots to open for a speaker or a presentation. And I know you're a Dave Ramsey certified finance coach, and there are a lot of people in this room that have just doubled or tripled their income or more in the last year and a half, and they might not know how to manage it or what to do with it. Would you like to talk on that? Or could you do a presentation along those lines? And so I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so that's what the last week and a half have been. That's why I've been pretty much off of YouTube and not putting out a video this week, and I'll work on one later this week. But it was over the 3 mindset principles that have changed my life and my clients' lives, and just the best ones out there: compound interest, opportunity cost, and the wealthy buy assets first and liabilities second. So it's more like mindset stuff. And then practical tips, ways to eliminate waste, spend with more intention and attention, and then invest heavily. And then also some of the best investments we can make, traditional, but also in relationships, in ourselves. And it was just, it went well, but it was a lot of content that I put in about 40 minutes. And I probably tried to put in too much, but I feel people really appreciated it.
Now, most importantly, from your trip there, what sort of inroads did you make with Fanatics about them being an off-centered sponsorship moving forward?
None, man, none. The good news.
Why did you go then?
3 years.
Why did you go then?
Well, we got 3 years to work on that. I don't know if they're going to sponsor before they even have a product, or 3 years before they have the main product that we're talking about. So it's a very slow play. Maybe next industry summit, it's one handshake. And then
did you like wink at Josh summit, and you winked at Josh and he's like, what the heck's that guy doing? Like, what's wrong with that guy's eye? You're like,
oh, actually, they gave away a bunch of free things in this like welcome bag, but one of the things was this Fanatics shirt. And
so basically, you made a great impression by just asking for all the free stuff. Hey, Josh, nice to meet you, but is that a free T-shirt you've got there on the table?
Gimme.
And then you just ran off.
I mean, it's a nice shirt. It's a medium, so it's not going to work. In fact, looks more like a small to me, but
yeah, it's gonna go
quality.
It's gonna be like a midriff on you or whatever.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, I don't know what to do with all this stuff because I have things that like this shirt. There's an Industry Summit shirt that I would never, I wouldn't want to wear. I just don't really care to wear it, but maybe someone out there would. I just don't know how to give it away if anyone wants it, or if anyone wants to pay shipping and I'll send you this stuff, then go for it.
Dustin, you haven't talked about, I think what you meant here is NBA Top Shot lately. Any new, yeah. I don't know anything about Top Scots, but no, I'm assuming that's Top Shot. I'm still hodling over 300 moments. I've got 300 moments on the platform and just kind of sitting on them. I have sold some over the last, 6, 7, 8 months, but I've got 301 or 302 moments. So yeah, I'm sitting, I'm holding, I'm hodling.
Here's the moment. Dustin going, I should have sold all my Top Scott.
Yeah. You could almost say that for anything going back to February. You could also say that for sports cards too. Like, man, I should have sold all my sports cards in February. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Seriously.
A lot of my stuff is a long-term hold or hodl these days.
Yeah. That's a good word for deep regret. Long-term hold, aka deep regret.
Those Will Greer and Ryan Finley rookie cards, that's a long-term hold for me. I like those guys down the line.
Hey, my Jared Stidham's coming back, man.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Oh, when he rises from the ashes, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Okay, so how did it end? So what were the workshops, I guess, that you were most interested in? So, did anyone speak where you were like, okay, this is something I didn't know, or this is interesting, or, was there anything good like that?
Let me take a look at the schedule again, because I didn't see all
one
of them.
Question. Did you listen to Brian Gray, CEO of Leaf? Okay,
Yeah.
So I saw on Twitter, he kind of put up a tweet that was kind of a little cryptic about he was going to be honest about his feelings and was going to kind of let it go and made some sort of kind of like a comment of like people might not like what they hear or something like that. Was there anything controversial about what Brian had to say? I really like listening to him, especially as a manufacturer, because he's just got a whole different viewpoint perspective than most people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been around for 40 years in the hobby, so definitely like listening to him.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say his speech was the most memorable just because it's obvious that he has done these keynotes before. He's very comfortable on stage. That was the first time I've seen him. I didn't know who he was before. He's very vocal, very confident on stage. And basically the premise was, I like the premise because it was like, look, take extreme ownership of your business and always look 3 steps ahead, 4 steps ahead, because the industry is changing very rapidly. Don't be that person that is the last to decide what to do because you wait to react when everything happens. And he pulled up a video. He pulled up a video from Friends, like this little clip from episode Friends where they're carrying a couch up the stairs. And it was all about at the furniture store, that's when you should have pivoted and gotten a different couch versus struggling with this one. So the point was pivot, right? We have to pivot because just like in investing, I had that video where it's like adapt or die, right? This hobby has changed drastically over the last 5-10 years, but even just since I've been back in since February 2020, it's night and day from a year and a half ago. And why would I think that that's not going to change a couple more times in the next year? So I think he was very much in that mind space as well of, hey, I know you guys have been in this for 20, 30, 40 years. Get ready to pivot because Panini, he was mentioning, hey, Fanatics is taking over. And I know a lot of you guys are nervous about not getting products and da-da-da-da. Well, are you waiting for something to happen before you react? Or are you trying to piece it together and be proactive? And the other clip was from, what's the name? Queen's Gambit. So I never saw that show, but Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So she's like a chess player or something. And she always goes to bed looking at the ceiling and mapping out all of these simulations of chess games. So she's always looking at, if I do this, then they'll do this, and then I'll do this, then he'll do this or whatever. And so he was referencing look at the ceiling. Look at the ceiling, meaning when something happens, go 5 steps beyond. Go, if this happens, then I'll do this, and then it'll lead here, and it's going this way, versus just sit back and then get bombarded by whatever change occurs. So
it's kind of like what you do leading up to a Hinge date.
Yeah, I plan for every scenario. Your aunt's not in the hospital. Come on over here. That was a fake call.
She's going to be honking outside of my apartment. What do I do at that point?
Turn it into a joke on Off-Centered.
Yeah, while I'm on a live stream, she's banging on the door.
Hey, they just can't wait to see me, right?
Right.
But yeah, he was good because I think it was also in line with how I like to approach it, which is we got to be very proactive. We got to pivot. We got to be very take a lot of responsibility versus assume things will never change or assume things will just always happen in our favor. So I wouldn't say controversial, but I feel he was very convicted in his message.
Thoughts on the saturation of modern product with overprinted parallels and inserts? Nick, I actually put a video out on this today.
Of course.
And I actually put a video out on this 9 minutes ago. It's a part 4. Yeah, it's a 4-part series. But yeah, no, I think this is a thing. I definitely think this is a thing because it's like, they're not necessarily printing a lot, like as much of one set as they were back in 1990, but they are certainly printing a lot of different products, a lot of different sets with a lot of different parallels. And I think this year Select has gotten a lot of attention because they've moved over to retail. So now it's hobby and it's retail. And there's also, I think SCI did the video on it where they talked about 130 different parallels. You've got, eel skin and, pterodactyl skins and everything else skins. Every animal, that's ever lived on the planet skin, parallel. So yeah, no, I think that it's hard to not think that that's going to catch up at some point. And the thing that's kind of concerning too is, traditionally we've always looked at kind of numbered cards. Well, if it's numbered, then it's, there's scarcity there. But if you've got 100 different parallels that are numbered, then all of a sudden you just have like a lot of numbered crap, in my opinion. Now, if you're a collector, and you're trying to, if you're trying to collect every animal in the zoo, print, then that's a different thing. But if you're talking about trying to buy, sell, flip, if you're trying to make money flipping, that's tricky. That's tricky. I don't know. What's your thought on that, Brad?
I mean, to me, there's so many factors and it's changing all the time. I don't even want to consider newer product. Like I don't even want to, because it's so difficult just getting the right player right. And then feeling like, all right, well, like if you buy a PSA 10 of a card from 2014, you're still hoping that PSA 10 is not going to double in pop count. So for the newer stuff, when there's excitement around it and people take forever to piece together, holy crap, there's all of this and way more. And people care about it right now because it's a hot product. For the profit side, if it's not pulled, from a pack and then sold right away, I feel like it's really difficult because then you're saying, all right, well, I'll submit it to grading. Hopefully I get a 10. Hopefully it'll come back in. I mean, either you pay a fortune for it and it comes back at 10 and maybe it's doubled in price. Maybe you still overpaid at $150 a card. It's just like new product is like only good for ripping and gambling on because it's just too many unknowns. Like I want to go back to 2014 to 20, maybe even vintage, like honest, and sealed wax, older sealed wax, where I'm like, I got to minimize the amount of factors at play because there's just too many wild cards going on. I mean, just guessing the right player, if they're an active player, just guessing that the right player is pretty risky. It's like a lot. And now it's the right player, the right card, the right grading company, the right grade, assuming it won't double or triple. All of that, it's very difficult if you're looking at it from a ROI standpoint to make sense of it. So if it's not like, hey, I bought this at Target, I got lucky, I ripped it open, or I entered a break and I got a good card, it's way too many factors because we're also then thinking, all right, I sent it off to grading. Will there be more people in the market? Will they care about it more? It's like we can have more cards being printed and it be okay if more and more people and money is entering at a higher pace, or at least at that same pace. But if they're printing 3 times as much, but it's only growing, the hobby's only growing 50% more, then, it's going to go down relatively speaking. So I mean, I'm overwhelmed by all the new stuff. So it's more
Well,
just
if you think too, if the companies have kind of this thought of like, well, we can charge $1,000 a box or $1,500 a box or more, and just kind of make like really nice product with, patch auto type stuff, and it's numbered, but again, if you have a lot of different parallels of that stuff, if you have a lot of different ones, even if it's a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady or whatever, let's just use Tom Brady as an example because he's kind of the guy for football. Well, really, Brady, Mahomes, those two guys for modern football. But think about it: if 2022 Select or Prism, or even National Treasures or whatever, if they've got a bunch of different patch autos that are sick patches or whatever, it's just diluting it all down to where you might think like, man, that's a monster hit. That was worth me paying $2,000 for a hobby box, or worth me paying $300 to get in on this break or whatever, or however you got into it. And then to find out that, well, there's actually, 50 different numbered cards of Mahomes in 2022 Prism or whatever. I'm just throwing something out here, but it's like, that might be a really sweet looking card that has no scarcity whatsoever. And we're using like the best two examples, Mahomes and Tom Brady, or LeBron James or whatever, whoever you want to use for that example. And so that's where I think people have to be really, really careful with products moving forward, even for like the GOATs, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like 9 parallels that are cracked ice, or like red cracked ice, red rainbow, red robin, red something, and there's like, all right, so there's 8 parallels that are all red colors. It's like, all right, well, they're all limited to 100 each, but they're all, before there was 1 parallel that was red, and now there's 8 parallels that are red but with a different type of swirl or pattern. Well, now there's 800 of a similar card versus 100. So I think that's where it gets a bit scary. But I did see a couple. I mean, there's a really good comments here today. There was one about I think he was a newer collector or investor asking about retail wax. Let me see.
Where is it?
Yeah, let me take a look here about if it's a good investment to hold retail wax. Oh, Matt S at 641 West Coast, 941 East Coast. For a small timer, do you think retail sealed wax is a good investment long term? The only thing that really stuck out to me is if it said retail and you're getting it at Target, or you're getting it at a retail price, you're probably good no matter what you do, because you're getting it at such a low price overall, as long as it's a somewhat decent product. I mean, if it's a college product, I'd probably get rid of it ASAP. If it's a Prism or Optic or Select or something like that, then you have a lot of options if you're getting it at Target. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree. I think the fact that you said retail, just meaning you're not spending a lot of money on it if you happen to get it. Now, if it's stuff that's widely available, I know there's like some Magic the Gathering cards in my Walmart right now that I could go get. You didn't specify necessarily like basketball, football, baseball, or non-sports, but that stuff, yeah, if you're getting it for $15 or $20 for a mega box or a blaster, whatever it is, then yeah, I mean, why not? You could sit on it and hold it, for a long term. Depends on what you mean by long term. Some people for long term, that's like 3 weeks, and other people it's 10 plus years. It just depends. But yeah, retail stuff is cheap.
That's like cheating. Yeah.
Cards and comics. If they keep making SSPs 1 per case in every product, they will lose appeal. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what's short print? Like super short print, like define that, because it might be that super short print is not very short printed, moving forward.
Yeah.
Brian said, this is what got the comic book industry in trouble back in the 90s, causing a crash. Yeah, I mean, in the 90s, it was kind of like, they printed a lot of cards. They printed a lot of, comic books as well. And this is kind of the rebuttal to, let's have lots of competition. Let's have lots of manufacturers. The rebuttal to that is the 1990s, which is we did have a zillion companies that were printing all these different things, and it was very, very saturated. Now, some people like that. Some people don't mind that. And so, but I guess that, again, pros and cons to each side of it. Now, what's actually happening, though, is Panini has the license. They're just printing a lot of different things. Whereas maybe if you had other companies, they would also be printing, but we could kind of pick and choose what we want.
Yeah, well, I was thinking if there was Topps and Upper Deck or some of the others, there might just be Topps Chrome and Topps Finest being the only ones that people really buy, and then Topps Paper or whatever really drop. And Panini, it's only Select and Prism and maybe another one that's really selling. And then the others, they really have to drop, or maybe you go to the store and those products are available because they're very low end, because there's all these other manufacturers producing Chrome and Finest or other products that we like. But, you know, that's not going to be in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and then the issue you have with kind of the newer, like the actual stuff that's very scarce, like the national treasures, for example, you know, they're doing, you know, sticker autos now, and you know, there's people that are kind of questioning like quality on that stuff, and then you're going to pay $5,000 a box, $7,000 a box, you know, however much that is, and if you're going to get on a break, it's going to be expensive to get on the break. They're also kind of diluting it down, I think, even on that stuff too, to where you've got just a lot of different, you know, patch autos and different things. So it's a minefield out there, guys. Be careful. I mean, that's why we, you know, I can't speak for Brad, but a lot of my stuff has been kind of old, either vintage stuff, or it's, you know, it's patch autos for legends. Yeah, that's what I've been focused on. You know, just to kind of sit back and let it kind of do its thing and sit on it long term.
And I got to say, yeah, the cards you've been picking up, and I've seen Steve pick up. I think he got a Snoop Dogg card. I mean, I think it's kind of going back to that. It doesn't matter what should be popping based on last season. I think it's coming back to what looks good, what is collectible, what would someone really want for themselves, regardless of the liquidity based on the flipper market. And the last summer was the flipper market. It was, if you had the silver prism, if you had the prism base, those were the cards you wanted when that player took off, which is still similar now, but I feel like it's not spiking the way it was. And then the other cards are really becoming more alluring, like the color matches, the color blast, all those other stuff. And I mean, the cards you're getting are cards that you look at and you go, oh, this looks expensive. This looks nice. And I think that's the way to go. And even going forward, that'll be more of my strategy is I want less cards and I want them to be higher end. And I want to know that people have valued these cards for a while versus I have to guess, is this a new product that people will like? Remember, Mosaic was like the biggest like flop, right? It was a lot of hype when Mosaic came out, and then prices just plummeted. And even now, like, do people care about Mosaic? I don't think so. I mean, the prices don't reflect that they do. And it could just be that it's printed like crazy, but I don't hear anyone talking about Mosaic like it's desirable. But last March, it was like,
I think too, it's kind of what you said. I mean, I think a lot of the flippers got out that were flipping the newer prospects, especially in basketball. You had a lot of flippers that were kind of, you know, buying and selling, the Colin Sextons of the world and the Brandon Clarks and, you know, some of these new prospect type guys. Nick, this is an idea that that I've talked about this too, and I've gotten some people that agree and other people will push back on it. But, you know, like for NBA basketball cards, I don't understand why you couldn't do this for like NBA hoops, you know, where you just have one brand, like one of these products out of the zillion that they're making these days, you know, NBA hoops, where it's just available in every Target and Walmart and it's always available. You know, you can always get NBA hoops. And that way people that are, you know, investors, or if you're a flipper, you just stay away from hoops. You know, I don't understand why they wouldn't already do something like that. Some people don't like that idea, but I think it makes sense for especially kind of the youth to get in and all that stuff.
I mean, I think the flip side of that is opening a box of anything is exciting, knowing that whatever is inside could be valuable. If you know that you're opening it and it's not going to be valuable, then that's when it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but when we were kids, though, we didn't have, I mean, look, when I was buying 89 Pro Set, there wasn't a whole lot out of there. Like, there was cards that were considered good cards, but there wasn't $1 million card coming out of 89 Pro Set, but we used to buy the heck out of it. That was just, you know, we were looking for our favorite players, or, you know, if it was like a Barry Sanders rookie card, okay, that was worth $5. Like, that was a big hit. The part of the problem is now it's like, I think we're so addicted to the big hits that now, and even younger people too now, you know, that might be too boring for them. You know, like the 89 Pro Sets, you know, might be too boring, but maybe something along that, you know, something that's more shiny or whatever, that's maybe worth, maybe it's a $5 or $10 card, not a, you know, $5,000 card, but maybe there's some, you know, kind of a, you know, something that's a little bit more valuable than the base stuff that could be in those.
Well, maybe, yeah, if it is, when they do the math and they do the pop numbers, it'd be kind of cool if they release the print runs of a product like that and just say, like, this is our entry product. We want a cool design. We want something that is designed to get people familiar with sports cards and enjoying it. And the top card, our goal is for it to be worth no more than $20 because we're going to print 500,000 of this one rookie card, like one silver or something. And we're going to print a lot of it, and it will be a cool card, but the box itself might cost 25, 30, 40 bucks, something to the point where investors would go, all right, there's a chance I get a $20 card in there. And I'm going to pay $30 for the box, $40 for the box. That is not worth it. Like,
or maybe it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You got 5 golden tickets. There's 5 1-of-1s of, all, like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, or whatever. You pick 5 players, and it's like there's 5 golden tickets out there in the world. We're going to print this until the end of time, but there's 5 1-of-1s that are out there somewhere. I don't know.
Something designed so that the average investor or collector is not interested, but someone that sees it on the shelf that has heard about sports cards would be curious about it. Like, it'll be fun to open, but I can't do the numbers. I can't run the numbers and the math on it to the point where it makes sense. It's like if you bought lottery tickets and you did the math on how many combinations you need to win the lottery, and you need like $2 million, 2 million individual tickets, because that's the amount of combinations. But the grand prize, the lottery, whatever, is $100 million. Then it's like, well, let me get one of every combination. Let me go out there and get one of every, all 2 million, because I know that one of them will win $100 million. Like, you could run the numbers on it. Yeah.
I like it. Dex Flow, looking forward to Stone Cold Steve giving Dustin a stunner this weekend. Yeah, I've got
a picture you getting stunned. Yeah.
I think that Steve is going to be stunned when he sees the kids and the dog running around. He's going to be like, maybe I don't want to stay here, actually. You know what? I'm going to go get a hotel. Forget this. No, but yeah, we've got, if you haven't seen Flipping Steve's YouTube channel, check him out. He's going to be here this weekend. We'll probably do some vloggy type things. I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea, but maybe we'll try to do something a little bit different just to mix it up. And then we're going to go to a local card show here. And then we're going to go to the Saints-Panthers game. We were actually in a group chat, and he was like, should I root for the Panthers or the Saints? I'm like, dude, you better be rooting for the Saints every time they gain like at least a yard. I better hear you screaming your head off. So we're going to go to the football game on Sunday. That'll be a good time too. So yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we definitely got to make a video from that.
Oh, we'll make plenty of videos. Yeah, there'll be videos all weekend. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Unbelievable. I was actually kind of pulling for your sons for the finals, and that's how you're doing me. Unbelievable. Saints and Texans not losing a game this year.
Texans.
Let's put money on. Let's put money down on it. I just think that we can. We're dealing with we have 4 offensive coaches that are out this week. So I don't know, hopefully. And then Michael Thomas, who already was hurt, he also picked it up. So we're kind of rolling along. We will be rolling along.
Nice compliments by Krista Williams towards you as well.
Oh yes, Krista Williams. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And the one before, I think.
Couple.
Well, and then I saw the comment by Michael Stone too.
I appreciate that. Oh, was Michael Stone talking? Oh, okay. I thought maybe Michael was talking smack. No. Quick follow-up, Brad. Which service worked out best for you when selling your cards?
My slabs has been the biggest pleasant surprise. I've been selling more, and I think more people are signing up for it and having a good experience. eBay is still there. And then the cards I'm selling on CompC, a lot of them are from people on eBay that are finding the CompC listing on eBay. So that's been like 3rd place, but my slabs, it's been good.
I think it would be pretty cool to see in the future if gambling becomes more legal, a website where people could bet sports cards on sports games. Honestly, sports betting is becoming such a massive thing now. I know Fanatics also wants to. I saw a couple of different reports on sites that they're dabbling with or companies that they're looking at, and there's speculation. Are they trying to buy those companies? Are they, joining forces? Yeah, the sports betting thing it seems to be only growing. I just don't see it, dying down. It seems like that's definitely a thing.
What's interesting is Fanatics has so much going on and they have so much time. it'll be very interesting to see when they do take over what it will actually look like in terms of combining NFTs, gambling, sports cards, in stadium, retail, online, like what they're actually going to launch with, because I mean, who knows how this is going to merge in a couple of years.
I just love the name of this account. And thank you very much for watching. Dirty Or Kayak Fishing Team. It sounds like you're having way more fun than the rest of us, man. Fishing on kayaks, that sounds awesome. I love it. Poker night for slabs. Yeah, I do think it's going to evolve, all this stuff. I think that this is just kind of the beginnings of all of it. But I think it's sports cards, it's memorabilia, it's sports betting. It's all tied in. It's going to be kind of the ultimate entertainment experience, I think, is what we're going to be seeing down, and augmented reality, virtual reality stuff. I'm sure that's all coming down the line too.
Yeah, there was someone I saw speak as well, and I'm trying to think of the company. Beyond Protocol, I think. Beyond Protocol. Have you heard of that?
I have not, no.
So this guy, young dude, looks like let me see. Yeah, young guy. His name is Jonathan Manzi. I don't know what his background was before, but I think it's creating like blockchain for your sports cards, as in like connecting your sports card portfolio to the blockchain, so it tracks who owns it and where it's been in the past, type of thing. But I think that's his business, and that's where, like, that was one of the things where who knows when it'll really be incorporated and where it'll actually evolve into. But again, one of those things where it's too abstract now, but in a year or 2 years, it could totally make sense, where it's like, yes, my card's on the blockchain and and now it's all incorporated with NFTs and everything else.
Yeah, NFTs, blockchain, cards, it's all intertwined. I think it's going to only become more so. Are you guys going to bet on your guys to get, I guess this is kind of asking, are you going to bet on your teams? Oh, when they play each other. So maybe like Bucks versus Saints. I have never bet on sports games. I've never done it. I do fantasy football. That's kind of my betting on sports. But I've done daily fantasy before, where I put $5 in, I pick my team for the week or whatever. But I've never actually bet on a game, like versus the spread and all that stuff. I don't know, Brad, have you ever done anything like that?
I've never. Yeah, it's funny because just investing in sports cards has been by far the biggest gamble I've ever made. And I've never put a coin in a slot machine before.
Okay, yeah. And that's another thing, like in Vegas, I've been to Vegas a couple of times. I'm not a big gambler. I like watching other people gamble. I think that's fun, actually, in Vegas, is to go by like a table and see someone that's on a roll or whatever, betting like high stakes, because I just don't have the guts to do, big time gambling stuff.
But I did look up the game, and it's October 31st. So maybe a week ahead of time, we can figure something out. Like maybe we do like a little small bet, just because it would be good for the station.
I'll do something like that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, what's a better storyline than Jameis Winston playing against his old team that was taken over by the GOAT? I mean, that's like Hollywood stuff.
I mean, if he actually plays well and wins, it would be like, holy crap. Who thought that would happen? But hey, it's a good storyline leading up to it, especially if the Bucks and Saints have really good records, if they're like 1-2 in the NFC.
Yeah, no, I hope that the Saints can hold on. We've got a good roster. It's just, can we stay healthy? Can we,
Michael Soda, winner gets to keep the jersey. Yeah, great. What's in it for me?
Take your money to the bar versus the slot machine. Better return on your investment. Unless you're Brad. Brad's been burning a lot of money at the bar and coming home empty-handed.
But then again, I go to the shows and I just win things. I win boxes of soccer finest boxes. I win, dude. I had a ticket.
I like how he says win when really it's run by a table and grab as many things as you can and just run to the car.
I mean, my strategy is not conventional exactly, but I will show you this. This was another thing that I won, but technically this was Tyler Nethercott's of Sports Card Investor. On the Monday night, they had the Monday Night Football game being played, and they gave out prizes the whole time. I thought that was pretty cool. There was literally 350 to 400 people that bought a ticket, and there must have been 100 or more prizes. So 1 out of 4 people, maybe 1
Oh,
out of
wow.
3 actually won something. And so I had my ticket, and then Tyler Nethercott and Kelly from Sports Card Investor left. And I said, you want me to hold on to your ticket in case they call the number? And they called a number, and it wasn't Kelly's. And I wasn't sure if the ticket was mine or Tyler's. And when he said his number, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's the one they called. It was Josh Allen autographed jersey. So I picked that up. I picked that up last night and gave it to him today. But I'll zoom in if you can see the autograph there. It's kind of bright, but
yeah, it's a little bit blurry. But yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, and it's Fanatics. So I mean, it's a legit Fanatics box and has the authentication through them, hologram certified, all of that. I know it's bright, but hey, that's pretty cool, man. Just to leave a show like that with a Josh Allen autographed jersey or a Messi autographed jersey or a box of cards. Some people left with some great stuff like that paid for at least their ticket.
Well, I saw that Tom Brady, I think he was doing it through Leland's auction house, but he was auctioning off a meet and greet with him, basically. And that's another thing I just think is going, like player access, team access. I think that stuff is going to grow because now the players, whether it be the NFLPA, these players associations are now getting a piece of that pie. So these players, they're going to be like, yeah, absolutely. I'll have lunch with somebody for $10,000 or whatever. They're going to try to cash in on this stuff.
Another interesting angle along those lines too, and this was a bit of a theme, and Dan Fleischman mentioned this during the panel. And so I actually met one of Dan's partners of the Salt Lake City Cards and Coffee, Kevin Trost, who really nice dude. His other business is he has an agency for collegiate athletes because now collegiate athletes can make money as of a couple months ago. They don't have to forego making money and the NCAA make it all. And so one of the tips for local card shops was, hey, bring in your local star quarterback or star point guard because that University of Florida wide receiver or Stanford quarterback or whatever town you're in is going to bring in more business for the dollar than bringing in a professional athlete that wants $10,000 for an appearance. This college kid might do it for $1,000 or $500, but would draw in a pretty big audience because if you're in Tuscaloosa or one of these college towns, that star QB or whatever sport is like, a god to, in that town. They're huge. They're bigger than life. So I thought that was interesting, getting collegiate athletes into cards that way as well, and how that's going to merge. Maybe the college card market will benefit from these stars actually being able to make money off of their own autographs and appearances and kind of pump that up as well.
Yeah, I saw a report. I think it might have been Darren Rovell that reported on it, but a female gymnast. I think she might be at LSU. I can't remember which college, but she did a mid-6-figure sponsorship deal. A female gymnast. They are really cashing in student athletes. So that is definitely. That just throws a whole wrinkle into it. Now it's like if you get in on, it's not even getting into pro sports. If you can get into college sports, then you've got the opportunity to make a lot of money in college, which is pretty cool. That's definitely a new thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So answering Krista's question, I have not even looked into this. I have not gotten into Panini Instant or Topps Now. I don't know anything about it really. I don't know, Brad, have you touched this at all?
No, none. Yeah. Just no clue. And honestly, I wish I could pay attention to new product more, but because I can't get access to it, retail, and because I don't enter breaks, and because I'm so freaking petrified of what the actual print numbers are going to be and how volatile it is, I'd rather just let that settle down, and then 2 years later when things become a bit more transparent, then go in on it. And it's not the most exciting way to approach it, but I just hate the idea of I hate overpaying for anything. And so to buy something thinking it's a good deal and then realizing it's a horrible deal, I'd rather avoid it at all costs.
Brad, you were picking up ladies at the conference?
No.
So happy in that picture with
Brady. Brady.
Oh, Brady. I'm just confused. I'm trying to decipher the chat. It's tough. Okay. We are about to wrap up, I think. Here we're at a minute, or we're at an hour 4. And
it
Brad,
feels like a minute.
Yeah, we're at a minute. We're at a minute 4 seconds. No, but Brad's been hustling for the last 4 days and not getting us a Fanatics sponsorship. So thanks for nothing there, buddy.
I got myself one. I just didn't get us one.
Yeah, you're like, hey, yeah, we'll find out later that he picked up like 9 sponsorships. No big deal. No big deal. I'm glad that you had a great time.
But here's the thing. I pitched us, and they're like, Brad, we really like you, but you got to ditch this Dustin guy.
I heard it the other way around. Actually, I was getting texts, calls from people like, hey, this guy's over here talking some crazy trash about your channel. And we think it's awkward because you guys do a weekly show together. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Good.
That's just our dynamic. That's what we do.
Yeah. We're friends on screen, and then behind each other's backs, we're tearing each other apart and trying to bring each other down.
Yeah. Isn't that what a normal friendship is?
I think that's just healthy competition.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, guys, we are, you know what? TW, I dig it. I dig it. Can you turn your volume down, Brad? Because it's echoing. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, guys. Brad,
it's already because you're talking too loud, man. Don't talk so loud.
We can't get the internet right. He can't get his audio right. I'm surprised his camera's about to go out. He's about to turn into Skeletor in a second.
I got 30 seconds. Yeah. 30 seconds before the females don't want to see me at all.
Oh, well, in that case, I got to stay live for 30 seconds then. Is it really going to shut off?
No, I got like 2 hours.
Yeah, right. It's at 30 seconds. All right. Well, we'll cut it. We'll cut it. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining tonight. We will be back again next Wednesday on Brad's channel, and maybe we'll have Ryan Card Collector 2 or another guest on. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I talked to Ryan Card Collector 2. He's interested in coming on. We'll see if next week works, but I would love to introduce him to you guys and you guys to him if you're not familiar with his stuff. So appreciate it.
GD squeaked one at the end.
There it is.
I love it. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a great week.
See ya.